Hello family, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It is nice to have you here once again. In this video, come with me, let's cook this flavorful, delicious West African most popular rice dish, jollof rice. If you're new to my channel or if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, remember to support your girl by subscribing to my channel, turning on your post notification. That way you'll be notified once I upload a new video. I am using chicken thighs. That's my favorite part of chicken. You can use any protein of your choice, whether it's chicken, whether it's turkey, whether it's beef, whatever protein of your choice. Or if you're not a meat lover, you can also go vegetarian or vegan. But I'm starting with cleaning the chicken. I clean my chicken with vinegar and salt. I trim out some of the fat and some of the skin. I don't take out all of the skin. I let it dry a little bit, and then I'm going to toss it up with the seasoning. Also, you can choose any seasoning of your choice, but what I've used here is oregano, paprika, ground black pepper, salt, curry powder, thyme, and garlic powder. I mix it up with salt, yes, and a little bit of oil, coat up the chicken, and then we're going to put that aside and let it be marinating while we turn on to cooking the rice. So here are the basic things that I'll be using for the rice. Is tomato. You can use fresh tomatoes, but this is my go-to. I use this, I drain out the water, I blend all this together. I'm not going to be using all of this tomato paste, it's too much. I will just be taking a little bit from it. As well, for hot pepper, you can add as much as you want. Blend everything up, and then I'll put it aside till we get to the point we'll be adding this. So here are more spices that I'll be adding: curry powder, thyme, seasoning cube, and this is jollof spice. I'll be adding it when I add the rice, and I'll be adding this amount of crayfish, grounded crayfish now. So I'll be adding it right into the hot oil. I like to add it because it will intensify the taste of the crayfish, even though it's a very little bit that I'm adding, but it's going to. I'll add all the seasoning into the oil. You want the oil to be fragrant. Once you add the seasoning into the oil, it helps to bring out its flavor, it intensifies the flavor. Once your oil is flavorful, your food is going to be flavorful. So I'm adding seasoning cube. I will just let all of this cook for about a minute, then I'll go ahead to add tomato paste. See how thick this tomato paste is. So we're going to fry the tomato paste until it's crumbly. Once it's crumbly, then we'll add the blended tomato and onion and peppers. we're going to let this continue to simmer on a low heat until all the water dries out. In the meantime, I'm going to parboil rice. I'm using 7 cups of rice, 7 measuring cups of rice, and I'm going to clean it with this hot boiling water. You're just going to continue to stir it. You're going to see a lot of the starch come out. So you want to wash the rice until the water runs clear. It helps to remove all the impurities, all the dirt, and also some of the starch from it. So now let's check back to the tomatoes. As you can see, it has cooked down very well. Remember to cook it on medium to low heat so that it doesn't burn. You don't want a burnt stew. Your rice is not going to taste good. And be stirring it occasionally. As you can see, I'll be stirring it occasionally from time to time off camera, but it's cooking down nicely. I have a lot of stew, so I will scoop out a little bit. Remember, your stew is also dependent on how much rice you're cooking. I will set aside a little bit that I might use later, either to toss it up with the rice or just later for something else. But as you can see, the water from the rice is running clear. Well, it's not running clear. I'm going to drain it now, and I will wash it for the water to run clear before I add it back into the rice, into the stew. And here it is. I'm just going to add all the other seasoning, add the chicken stock here, add more water. You want the water and the rice to be level, um, so that you don't want the rice to be soggy when it's done cooking. You never want a soggy jollof rice, but you don't want it also to be too hard that is like undone. So you also, it's a balance, okay? Jollof rice is a balance. It takes time, it takes skill to learn how to make a good jollof rice. I'm adding back the jollof rice seasoning. You don't have to add it. If you don't have it, it's optional. It's just that it add a little bit, it intensify the flavor of the jollof rice, that's all, but it's optional. I added some bay leaf, made sure that all the seasoning is up to point. Once everything is right, I cover it with foil, leave it at a medium heat for it to boil. Once it start boiling, I will turn it down to low. You want it to slowly cook. You don't want it to burn at first. Now at the end, if you want smokiness to it, then you can increase the heat for it to burn on the bottom a little bit. So now we're done. The rice is cooking. We're going to turn our attention to the chicken. I will be grilling the chicken, as you can see here on my grill here on my stove. I will grill it. It's not going to finish grilling here, and then I flip it over. Later on, I'm going to put it in the oven for it to finish cooking. Let's check back on the rice. It's cooking nicely. As you can see, the water has drained. I'm just going to fluff it up, make sure that all the ingredients is distributed evenly. You want to toss it very well, cover it back again with foil for the final cooking. It still has a little bit of liquid, so we're going to cover it so that it will drain some of the water. You want your jollof rice to be what is it, fluffy? Yes, fluffy and separated. For the grain of rice to be separated, that's what I mean. So now the rice is done the way I like it, but I want it to have smokiness, like that smoky patty jollof rice. I've increased the heat to high and I'm gonna leave it for about 3 minutes for it to burn at the bottom. You can see the smoke coming out. That's the smoke from the pan. Okay, now I've turned off the stove, the heat, and I'm going to cover it again with foil, or just cover it with the cover to retain that smokiness. It's going to, you know, go over the rice. That is what gives you that patty smoky jollof rice. If you don't want it, you don't have to do this part, but this is our end product. Look at it. It is very yummy. It is very flavorful. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying here with me. If you have watched up to this point and you haven't subscribed, remember to support your girl by subscribing to my channel. Until I see you the next time, remain blessed. Bye bye.